Competency number 10. Was the teaching style suited to the pupil's learning style and current ability? So we've got teaching style and learning style. You should really have, well, actually, if we talk about the fact that it's top of the list on teaching and learning strategies, but also if we refer to the ADI 1 on this, there's a big paragraph at the beginning that says that DVSA are not trying to remove the core competencies that we know forms the basis of instruction: identify, analyse, remedial action. It clearly states they are still there, so please don't just think it's all about something different nowadays. It isn't. The core competencies are still there, so people that have trained years and years ago, like myself, who got used to the old style test, those competencies are still there. These 17 competencies after this include those competencies, but they enhance a client-centered experience. And this is one of the key points, that if you're continuing with your old style of maybe tell, and they're not responding, and you don't change your style or make an attempt to introduce a new teaching style to help that learner reach their learning needs or their goal for that session, then you will be marked down. So what we've got to think of is learning styles. If we look at certain learning styles, and I'll just list off a few. So we have auditory. So ideally you will have been introduced to many different ones during your training as an instructor, or hopefully you have, and also as a learner I'm hoping you have. I know I did. I was quite often shown a picture first or a book before we went off to do that subject, and I was talked through the routine, so a bit of auditory on the way. Now we have sort of iPads, we've got videos, we've got so many different things visually we can use. Like we say, most people will be prompting, so there's auditory as well, of a learning style. Some people are kinesthetic, what we call kinesthetic, which they just want to have a go, which is great, but I would introduce most people to a range of options, and you should have that in your little toolbox as an instructor. I know people training with me, I will start them, make sure that they're starting with a set book or some kind of imagery, so that they're starting with a visual. 90% apparently of people learn visually, but I just it helps you get onto the same page. Also, one of the biggest things, if you notice a safety critical incident, and one of the things I'm trying to drum into my instructors now, is we need to use a visual, get the visual out, so that learner is mentally back at that junction and can visually see what you're trying to explain the fault, and how to correct the fault. The attempt, and this is what it says that shows competence, the attempt of changing or having a range of different learning styles and trying to help the learner work towards their goal is what demonstrates competence. If the learner doesn't still, after you've tried all the different tools in your toolbox, still doesn't get it, that's okay. That is still okay, and it clearly states that under competence on this section on the ADI 1. So the examiners are just looking at, is that instructor trying a different style? We can clearly see that his current style is at odds, or is she pulling them in? Is she asking them, can I talk you through this now? Or I tell you what, do you want to swap seats and can I demonstrate this to you? So don't forget, the last one in my toolbox as an instructor is, I'll tell you what, you're so nearly there, but there's just one thing that I need to show you. Can we swap seats and I'll demonstrate it? I know that's my last tool. After that, I've probably used about 4 by then. After that, I'm starting to struggle, but the attempt, usually by then they've got it. The learner or the instructor has got it. But like I say, don't just continue pushing ahead just because it's always worked with most people. You've got to be able to recognize that's not working with this particular learner and be able to adapt that teaching style to suit their learning style. But if you offer a range, it not only helps keep the lesson interesting, it helps engage the learner, and that is massive. Or learner, I say learner, full license holder. It just helps engage, and people want to learn. They find the lesson more interesting. Hope that helps.